And so this week we're talking about alignment. We've been in our blueprint series and we're talking about metabolic alignment when everything works together. Because true health isn't about fixing one part of your life. It's about bringing all your systems into rhythm. Your metabolism, your mindset, your habits, your environment, everything working together in one intelligent loop. Alignment is not control, it's cooperation. When your design and your purpose and your behavior all come together, oh my goodness. And when your design supports your decisions and your decisions reinforce your design, life starts to flow again. And that's what we're talking about in this episode. Hey, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E if you're new to me. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. And I welcome you to our show tonight, whatever platform you are on, whether you're joining us from TikTok or Twitch or Instagram, or if you are on LinkedIn, of course, Facebook, and then here on YouTube. I am so excited that you're here to join us. And if you are joining us from outside of the country, special shout out for you because I know we've got some community members that are joining us, and it's a different time for them right now. But we are always excited when you are here to join us. We've got some good things that we're going to take a look at here in just a minute. I've got my monitor off to the side that we're going to take a look at. I've got my Keto Mojo, and I've got my contour. Right, we'll take a look at what's been happening with that, and then of course we'll take a look at my blood sugars. If you are, well, not if you are, but let me just say this: wherever you're joining us from, go ahead and drop that into the comments. We'd love to say hello and to say welcome to you. If you are new, go ahead and put new in the comments because I want to welcome you with a hand clap and some music. And let you know that I am excited that you are joining me today as we move through this space. If you do have questions, go ahead and drop those in the chat as well so that we know that that is a question we need to get to. Make sure you put a Q in front of that so that we'll know that, that we'll need to get to that. And let me just go ahead and say, if you've not joined us yet, let me go ahead and pull that up. If you've not joined us yet on our Move campaign, make sure that you get over there and join us because it is an amazing space to be in as we are providing a place where you can come and begin working and moving for your health. Let's go ahead and look at that promo right now. Welcome to Move, Metabolic Optimization via Exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is Move. Let's get started. All right. So just excited for what's going on there in our Move campaign. Remember, metabolic optimization via exercise. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at blood sugars. Like I said, I've got my monitors off to the side here. Here is my Keto Mojo and my Contour, and then of course right below me that is my Dexcom Clarity. Let's go ahead and look at those. Let's start here. Let's see. Yeah. Here is my Dexcom, and you'll see right there that my blood sugar right now is 95. Scrolling down here, you'll see that is what my graph looks like for the last 3 hours. Let's go ahead and change that to 24 hours, and then kind of run our finger along so you can see what's been happening blood sugar-wise over the last 24 hours. You know, we started there yesterday in the 1-teens, 90s, into today. Here's lunch. Sorry, that's right at breakfast time. Up to about 1:50 150 and then back down. And then as we got into lunch, into the afternoon, 130s, 140s, and then down to where we are right about now. Looking at the summary report, you'll see that my average blood sugar is 116 over the last 14 days, and I can change that. Let's go to 90 days, and let's see what's been 116 over the last 90 days with my average blood sugar being 117, which is that graph right there, that number. And then I'm in target 98% of the time. Remember, target is anywhere from 70 to 180. We usually tell people we want their blood sugars to be between 100 and 120. So that target is if you're using a Dexcom and you're looking at the green, right? A lot of people will look at the green and they will not remember that that green portion is actually pretty wide. It's 70 to 180. We don't want your graph to be that big. We want it to be between 100 to 120, really. As a matter of fact, 70 to 120 would be perfect. If you can keep it less than 100, that would be great. But 100 to 120 is what we usually tell folks, and that's what you're seeing right here in the green. Let's go ahead and let's take a look at what's been going on with my Libre. And right now you see my Libre says that my blood sugar is 75. And now putting my finger on the Libre also and kind of running across, you'll see what my numbers are right here on the graph. And you see 130s, 90s, 80s. And as you know, the Libre tends to be a little lower than the Dexcom. And so where the Libre now is saying 1-teens, the Dexcom is probably saying 120s, 130s, and then down to where we are. And you see right now, for example, my Libre is saying that my blood sugar is 74. And my Dexcom at this moment is saying that my blood sugar is 95. So there's about 20-point difference between the two. All right. And now let's go ahead and let's take a look at what's going on with my Keto Mojo and my Contour. And so for this, I'll need to grab a strip for the Contour. I'll need a brown strip for blood sugar for Keto Mojo. I need a blue for ketones. And then, of course, grabbing a few of these Lancets just to see what those numbers are. And let's get a strip here. That's for the Contour. And so this will give you 4 different views of what my blood sugar is at this moment based on 2 continuous glucose monitors and, of course, what each of these finger sticks is doing and showing. So let's go ahead and get this in for the Keto Mojo. And I'm going to go ahead and bring the Contour back, or the Dexcom back on screen so we can see all those 3 together. I don't have the ability to put 4 yet. Okay. All right, so go ahead and grab this. And I've been picking on this finger switch, so let's go ahead and do that. And I don't usually use a Lancet or lancing device. I just get the Lancet, and as you see, get a finger stick. That's a pretty brisk drop right there. So get that started for the Keto Mojo. Get this started for the Contour. And so right now, the Keto Mojo says I'm 106. The Contour says I'm 98. The Dexcom says I'm 96. And if we go back to the Libre, right now the Libre is saying 74. So the odd man out is probably the Libre because it's the lowest. Now let's go ahead and let's get this ketone strip in for the Keto Mojo. And what do you think my ketones are going to be? I have not been fasting since we ended our fast last week. All right, so 3 or 4 days of just normal eating. Let's make sure we get a good drop here. And that one even started to dry a little bit, but we're going to see if we get it to work. All right, so there we are. So what do you think it's going to be? 7, 4, 3, 2, and low. That's right, low. So I saw someone in there dropping a 0.1. So yes, so it is low. And so remember when we talk about and let's go ahead. Let me do this since we're here. Let's go ahead and let's pull it over. I don't think I have my Keto Mojo app up, so let me go ahead and open that up, and then we can just pull that number over from the Keto Mojo. And let's go back here, and let's go ahead and hit sync. So talking about ketones that are less than 0.5 are considered normal. 0.5 to 1.5 considered nutritional ketosis, and then above 1.5 considered therapeutic ketosis. And so right now I'm in the normal range. So if you, and we'll talk more about this as we get through the week, as we get into our fasting, if you are trying to be in ketosis, whether you're fasting, fasting mimicking diet, or you are eating a ketogenic diet, then that's what you'll see. We want ketones to be 0.5 or higher, okay? And so right now you're seeing that my ketones are low, glucose is 106, which is actually considered higher, and then we don't have a number for the GKI because the ketones are very low at this point. And remember, glucose, if glucose is high, glucose is high, insulin is high. When insulin is up, ketones can't be in the same space. Okay? All right, so let's go ahead and let's say hello to our community members. I see you guys out there, and then we'll jump into our discussion for this evening. So let's see. We've got Teresa. Hey, Teresa, what is up? Teresa says, hey, doctor and everyone. Thank you for coming through. Kenty, New Zealand is here. New Zealand in this house. That's right. Remember, drop where you are from into the chat so we can give you a shout out. Teresa say, hey, Kenty. Jennifer say, howdy all. Kenty say, hello there. And then Kenty was guessing ketones of 0.1, and you were actually pretty close because it was low, right? And then Jennifer giving a guess of 0.2. Now, we do have community members who tend to stay in ketosis because they're eating ketogenic diets. And so, as a matter of fact, I see one of our community members on here who tends to be in ketosis most of the time based on their meals. I don't try to be in ketosis when I'm not fasting, which is okay because your fasting regimen is specific to you. Now, let me hop over and let me make this comment. When we're fasting, remember we're using fasting as a tool, and your fasting should be providing for you the benefit that you're looking for, right? So meaning that you've got to coordinate your fasting so that you get the benefits. And we'll talk more about this as we get into the rest of the week. All right, so Jennifer, let's see, 0.2. Kenty said, haha. Steve said, hey, everyone. And Teresa was guessing 0.3. Jennifer saying, hey. Teresa, hey, Jennifer. Hey, Steve. And then Jennifer saying, just hey to everybody. Yeah. So that's so glad that you all are coming through. Go ahead and continue dropping in the chat where you are from so that we can say hello. We got Kenty who's in New Zealand, and then I see I know where some of you are from, but just go ahead and drop in the chat just so that other people who may be joining us maybe for the first time will get a sense of where you are as we move through our community. Okay. Now let's go ahead and let's talk about our discussion for tonight. We'll get into that discussion here. So let's go ahead and do that right now. All right, so we're talking about alignment. Have you ever had a day when everything just clicks? Your body feels right. Your focus is sharp. Your choices seem to almost make themselves. There's no fight. There's no friction. Then there are those days when every decision feels heavy and nothing flows. what's the difference between those two days? What's the difference between those two experiences? It's not luck, it's alignment. Now, I'll tell you something that happened to me just last night today. I actually ended up in my ophthalmologist's office this morning after I called him last night in almost a panic. I was at the office. They had been making some changes, and I was lifting some things and doing the floors and mopping and so forth. And all of a sudden, in my right eye, I saw, not in the mirror, but through my lens, I saw something that alarmed me. And so this was actually late at night. Now, I happen to know my ophthalmologist, and so it was about 12:30 in the morning. So I picked up the phone and I dialed and I said, hey, this is what's going on. And he says, hey, come in the morning. And so I went in the morning, and we didn't leave the office until about 2 o'clock in the morning. And so went in the office in the morning, and right now everything is fine. Let me just say that to everyone. But we have those days when things seem as though it is just pushing things uphill. Like every decision I have to make, I've got to fight. It seems like my body is not working with me. It's working against me. It seems like my cravings are high, and everything is going on. So what happens? What do you do during those times? And the answer is really couched in alignment. We're couched in alignment. And so that's what we're talking about tonight. We're gonna talk a little bit about what's going on and what that really means. So we're talking about alignment. So metabolic alignment, when everything works together. When everything works together. And so what really is alignment? Alignment happens when what you believe, what you build, and what you do all are saying the same thing. It's when your mind, your body, and your mission stop arguing and they start collaborating. That's what the inner design loop was built to do, to create a feedback system where your biology and your beliefs constantly are synchronized. Most people think alignment means getting everything perfect. But in truth, alignment is the ability to self-correct. Every system in your body, your heart rate, your glucose, your hormones, they stay healthy not because it never changes, but they stay healthy because it knows how to realign. Alignment isn't static. It's self-regulating. It's self-regulating intelligence. We were on our way, we went to Florida. I should say we were on our way. So we went to Florida just a few days ago. We're on this trip, this path to try to see all the NBA teams play at home before my son gets to college. So we've got a few to go, but we got in the car and we were supposed to fly, and we ended up deciding to drive. Now, I don't like to drive long distances. I get on the plane, we get there, we're done. But we decided we're going to drive. We decided we were going to drive in a very quick way, right? So we had the tickets, we had planned, we were driving to we were supposed to be driving to the airport, which is actually just north of us. And so we, in the last minute, decided, no, we're going to drive, which meant that all the plans for getting to the airport went out the window. And now we're leaving to go on this trip, and the game starts at 7 o'clock that night, and we're leaving, right? We're leaving at 5 o'clock that morning, and it is a 10-hour trip. Which means what? Which means we're rushing. So the perfect storm of everything, right? Don't like to drive, but here we are driving. we don't have 2 days. We got to get there like right now. And anything that happens on the road is going to interrupt the process of getting there. On the way, now I'm tired because I had been up because I expected to get on the plane, sleep on the plane, get there, see the game. But now I'm tired as we're going. And as we started going, now my back started hurting. So everything is conspiring now. And so throughout the entire process, the thing that kept me going was the alignment of all the pieces that I had put together. Now, on the way, I stopped at the store and I was looking at all the stuff, like all the chips and all the other stuff that's in there. Right? As a matter of fact, I got a bag of chips, by the way. Right? So I'm looking at all the stuff. But what kept me on the path was the alignment, the stuff that was in my head. This, okay, you've put this stuff in place. You've put this process in place. Let's allow it to work the way it was designed to work. So alignment isn't static. It's just self-regulating. It's regulated intelligence. So that's what alignment is. When you can't fix what you can't feel. Awareness is the first calibration when it comes to alignment. So where do we drift? Where do we drift? Misalignment shows up long before breakdown happens. You feel it as fatigue. You feel it as brain fog. You feel it as irritability. You feel it as cravings or that subtle sense of living offbeat. You never get that. I'm not quite sure what's happening, but something is not right. I feel out of sorts. I'll tell you that trip was like that for me because everything was just off. But the thing that kept me stable was the fact that I had put some things in place. There was the alignment of my thoughts, my structure, right? My why, which we'll talk about here in just a minute. So biologically, here's what's happening. Cortisol spikes from stress. These spikes pull insulin out of sync. Poor sleep disrupts melatonin and growth hormone cycles. Emotional triggers drive reward seeking, sugar. It drives scrolling. It drives shortcuts. Let me just get. I don't want to feel this anymore. Let me just get out of it. Your body isn't broken. It's out of sync. So in my trip, I was out of sync because I had stayed up late. The structure I had put in place to get to the airport was not what we did, right? So all of those things now out of sync. And when one loop, metabolic, emotional, or mental drifts come off course, when they're off rhythm, the others will follow. Misalignment is the silent leak that drains your energy. It drains your focus and it drains your flow. It takes your flow off of kilter. So metabolic harmony is going on in the body. I want you to think about this. Your body is a network of loops designed to stay in balance. In physiology, we call that homeostasis. In design, we call it feedback. When you wake, cortisol goes up. Alertness increases. Because remember, cortisol is responsible for getting energy. So cortisol's job is to provide energy for you. That's why some people say, when I'm stressed, man, I can do stuff. I love working under stress. You know why? Because you get that burst of energy that comes from cortisol. Alertness goes up. When you eat, insulin activates. Energy gets distributed. When you rest, melatonin and growth hormone take over and repair begins. That's your macro alignment cycle. the natural choreograph between hormones, habits, rest, your thought process. When you disrupt that, eating late, skipping rest, ignoring hunger cues, we disconnect from that rhythm and we throw things off in chaos. That's why people will say to me, I was going along fine, and then something happened at the house. We had, whatever it is, right? The refrigerator broke, the car went down, mom got sick, we had to travel, we had to, whatever it is. You know why that throws things off? It's not because you're broken, it's because the system has been disrupted. Something came in to disrupt the system. Alignment is your friend. Alignment is the thing that is pushing you to be successful. And if we can get back into alignment, things begin to flow. But when we're out of alignment, things are just off. Blood sugars go off when people get stressed. It's like taking, I always give the example, if you made a wood fire in a fireplace, or you're grilling, and everything is pretty much burnt out, right? So you're finished grilling, wood is almost out, and you have those little embers, right? No wood in there, but just those little orange little embers that are in there. You know what happens if you walk over and you throw a teaspoon of gasoline on that? Even though there's not a lot of fuel right there, poof, you get a flame. Why? Because there is energy that comes from the interaction between those smoldering embers and the gasoline. And when you get off kilter, when you are off balance, when you are misaligned, when there's stress, it's kind of like walking up to your life and taking a teaspoon of kerosene and dumping it right there. What happens? Poof, everything is on fire. But here's the good news. The body is forgiving. As soon as you align your routine, your systems begin synchronizing again, like instruments tuning to the same pitch. Your biology is built for balance, homeostasis. It's waiting for your behavior to catch up. It's designed to be in balance. It's waiting for that. And when you catch up to it, and the things you do are syncing with what's going on in your body and what your body wants to do, everything flows well. Now, the inner design loop, or IDL, is a framework that keeps every system aligned. The inner design loop. That's what I call it. And we've talked about three things, right? So anchor, align, and adapt. Think of this architecture kind of like your transformation in practice. The structure that holds everything together. You've heard me talk about rhythm, alignment, and structure. Rhythm, alignment, and structure. Another view of rhythm, alignment, and structure. When we are talking and we're teaching, I teach Triple E Formula for Success. We educate, we empower, and we encourage. But when I'm looking at your life, when I'm talking to a client, when I'm talking to a patient, what I'm looking for in my discussion with them is there a rhythm to their life? Is there alignment, which is what we're talking about, and is there structure? And so the inner design loop is just another way of looking at that. Anchor, align, and adapt. So anchor, stability through identity. What will not change when everything else does? Your anchors are the values, the rituals, the non-negotiables that keep you grounded. Morning gratitude, I always do that. Or maybe movement, I always exercise. Or I always pray. Or I always do yoga, or I always stretch. Whatever it is, what is your non-negotiable? What are those things that are going to be there regardless of what happens? You don't rise to your motivation. You fall to your anchors. Motivation is fleeting. Because there are days where you'll wake up and you're like, I don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like wanting that. I'm not motivated to do that. But it's not about the motivation to do it. It's about the anchor, that non-negotiable that you've created. So number one, anchor. Stability through identity. Number two is align. Synchronizing all the things, your thought process, your behavior, your schedule. This is synchrony now through design. Here, you've built systems that match your intentions. Does your calendar, your environment, and the things around you, do your friends, do they support what your goals are, or do they fight them? If you're trying to go to school, come on, and every time you want to sign up for a class, that friend says, oh, let's not do it this week. Let's not do it this month. Let's not do it this year. We'll do it next year. Guess what? That's not aligned with what you say you want. If you're saying, hey, I'm saving up for a car, I'm saving up for a new refrigerator, I'm saving, whatever it is you're saving up for, and you're always spending that money on something that does not lead to that destination, that's not synchrony. That's not aligning. What are your design defaults? What are your pre-decisions? What are the things that you've said, hey, these are my non-negotiables, and now I'm putting behaviors in to make that happen? Rhythm, alignment, and structure. So if you're trying to save, don't put the money in your account. Let them take it out and put it somewhere else. Because if you continue that process, that alignment happens. If you're trying to lose weight, don't try to make the decisions about what you're going to eat at the end of the day when you're tired and when you're frustrated and when you're hungry. That's not alignment. Make the decision when you're fresh. Make it in the morning. Clean the house out. Take away the things that are tempting you. Because during the times when you're in it, you're not going to make the decision that you want. I'm going to say it. In the stressful environment, you are going to take the path of least resistance. It is what it is. So I can't make the decision in the moment. I've got to make the decision prior to that so that the things I do when I'm in it are not sabotaged by what I didn't do before. So if I know, hands up, that I love Cadbury chocolate, then don't buy Cadbury chocolate and have it in the refrigerator. Because when I'm up late at night, when I'm frustrated, when I'm driving on this 10-hour trip with my back hurting and my leg hurting, and we got to get there now, guess what? If I've got Cadbury in the car, I'm going to eat it. I'm just going to be honest. When you're not thinking about what you're going to do prior, when you get into the situation, it's already too late. How you live when you're not thinking determines how far you go when you are thinking. Design your defaults. So we align, so we anchor, we align, and we adapt. Growth through feedback is what adaptation is. This is where awareness becomes intelligence. You look at the results, you learn, you refine, and you refine without guilt. It's like, oh, I'm such a bad boy. Oh, I did that thing. Oh, I ate that chocolate. Oh, whatever it is. We're looking at this and we say, okay, what caused that to happen? I'm not interested in you guilting yourself into a certain lifestyle. I'm not interested in yourself strong arming yourself, because just as you guilted yourself in, you can explain your way out. Guilt is not a long-term solution. Strong arming is not a long-term solution. This is where awareness becomes intelligence. You look at the results, you learn from them, you refine them without judgment. Progress isn't the absence of error. It's the presence of adjustment. Progress, it's not that you're not going to do anything that's not on the plan. It's not that you're never going to go down the path that you said you will never do. It is that if I do, my question then becomes, why did that happen? And how do I now correct that? So each part of that the inner design loop brings you back into sync. When I'm looking at what's going on in my life and I'm going through the loop, anytime I see that something is off, then that's a trigger. That's a piece of information for me to say, hey, let me look at that again. Hey, let me look at that again. Hey, let me look at that again. And some of you are looking at me right now. You're saying, yeah, I keep having that same conversation in my head. You know what? Keep having the conversation, because at some point your brain is going to say to you, hey, guy, hey, gal, look, we keep having this conversation. What are we going to do about it? But if you never have the conversation, then we continue down that path, and that path does not lead to success. So let's talk about the 3 steps of alignment. The 3 steps of alignment. So that macro loop that we just talked about, the ideal, the inner design loop, is where vision becomes evolution. It's built on the same structure as the rhythm, alignment, and structure. The anchor defines your identity, right? The rhythm and your purpose, your present, your reason, your what is the thing that you want to do? Why do you want to change? Why do you want to be healthy? Why do you want to be better? Why do you want your blood sugars lower? Why do you want the weight to go down? Why are you interested in reversing your high cholesterol? It's not just about the number. It's about the fact that it allows you to live longer, to be healthier, to be with family, to make connections. What is your why? What's your reason for changing? The alignment helps you to build systems like the Limitless Living Health Action Plan. Those pillars: walking, balanced bites, fasting, rest and restoration, strength, strategy, and mindset, mental mastery, structure and planning. All of those are systems. The COPE model. Have you put some things in place that makes the choice to be healthy easier than the choice to not be healthy? I want you to notice what I just said. It's not to make the choice to be healthy the only choice, because that's never the case. It's always which is easier to do. And the thing that's easier to do is what your body and your brain will do. So the MOVE campaign, metabolic optimization via exercise. Do you know why that exists? It exists to allow a place that is already designed, already structured, already presented. So you just come, you plug in, done. Don't have to make a decision. Whether you're rowing, swimming, jogging, lifting, whatever it is, this time is already there. And then the adaptation is evolving and evaluating, or evaluating and evolving. Review your blueprint. Reset your boundaries. At your job, you know what they do? They do a review. Why? Because they want to know, are we getting better? Are you getting better? How are you doing? You sit down at the end of the month, you make a budget. Why? Because you want to know, hey, did the budget work? Are we still on course? We do that for everything except our health. And I recommend for my diabetics, I tell them to look at their blood sugars once a week, once every couple of weeks. Sit down and say, hey, are my blood sugars good? If it's a yes, great, let's keep doing that. If it's a no, what do I need to do? What do I need to change to make it better next time? That's an inner design loop. For you, for whatever other things you're doing, create a system, create a time, create a frame, maybe every 90 days, where you're looking to say, hey, is my anchor still valid? Is my alignment still good? And when am I sitting down again the next time to evaluate? So that loop represents a calibration, a recalibration, if you will, of your journey. It's not a start over. It's upgrading the operating system. The inner design loop is how transformation becomes intelligence. It's not designed to beat you over the head and to beat you over the knuckles. It's designed to allow you a space where you can, remember what we're talking about, the blueprints to success for our health. How do we maintain the benefits that we've already achieved? There are many of you who you've lost weight. You've had good blood sugars. Your blood pressure is better. Your cholesterol is down. You're on a GLP-1 now and you've lost weight. You're feeling good. How do you sustain that? And it can't be random. The inner design loop. And so, how do we apply this to our daily activities? So what does that look like in real life? What do you think? Well, what's an anchor? An anchor would be, I'm awaking, I'm getting up, I'm opening my eyes with intention. This is not just a random thing. I wake up and see what the day is going to do. No. I am doing something. There's something that is the purpose of my life. What is the purpose of my life? What am I going to do? What is today doing to get me to my destination? I love that. Did you hear that? What part does today play in getting me to the goal that I say I have? So I'm awaking with an intention. 1,440 minutes in a day. 1,400. Everybody gets the same amount. What do those minutes do for what you're going to be doing? So wake with intention. You design your day around your energy zones. You're aligning. So if you know that your worst time of the day, where you have the lowest energy, is at 5 o'clock at night, then you can't try to exercise at 5 o'clock. It's not going to happen. Put our hands up. Come on. Raise your hand. Because you're tired. You've been working all day. You've been on your feet all day. You've been in the hot sun. Whatever it is that you do, when you come home, you don't want to do anything else because you don't have the energy. You don't have the drive. The motivation is not there. So don't put that thing at that time. Don't put the decision about what you're going to eat at that time. Make that decision before. Get up 10 minutes earlier. And don't try to do 35 minutes of exercising. Do 5 minutes. Design it. Align what you're doing with who you say you want to be. So wake with intention. That's your anchor. Align your behavior with the things that you say you want to do. Understand yourself. And then reflect. Bookend, right? So reflect. Have a routine for how you end the day. Don't just pass out in bed. Did today achieve the goal that it was supposed to achieve? Did it take me closer to what I say I wanted? That's the full loop. And your body feels the difference. When you get to the end of the day and you're looking back over the day and you can check off, say, man, I woke up with intention. I said I was going to do this and I did that. And the choices I made were aligned with that. And here I am now evaluating the day and everything feels good. Do you know what happens to your cortisol level? It starts to come down. Your body begins trusting you again. Your mind is relaxed. That's the loop. Your body feels the difference. And when your body feels the difference, you begin making choices that are different. You walk differently. You talk different. You behave differently. You hold your head differently. People looking and saying, what's going on? I don't know. But you are aligned now. You eat when your hormones say eat, not just because you're worried or stressed. You rest when your energy goes down, when you're supposed to. You train, you walk, you exercise when your energy is peaking, not when it's going down. Remember, it's not about control, it's about cooperation with your own design. You don't force alignment, you follow alignment. So, the alignment interval. Let's normalize realignment. Because often people think when they have to realign, they think it's failure. I've done something wrong, and so now, I've been called to the principal's office, and I've got to sit down, and I've got to go through this again, and I've got to start over. Every plane in the sky course corrects thousands of times before it lands. I'm so glad they do. Right? Because if they didn't course correct because of the wind and because of the drift and the drag, if they didn't course correct because of that storm that they see coming, if they didn't course correct because of whatever it is, we would not be successful in getting to our destination. You're allowed to do the same. Realignment isn't failure. It's maintenance. Check on a daily basis if you want. I shouldn't say if you want. Where did I drift today? On a weekly basis, what needs to recalibrate? Quarterly, sit down and says, what do I need to evolve? Am I growing? Am I changing? Am I still heading in that direction? That's how consistency becomes intelligence. Through iteration, not perfection. Progress doesn't mean never drifting. It means always returning faster. Ooh, come on. So you're going to have times where you get off course. The question is, how quickly do you come back on course? What does that look like? Does it take you a week, a month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months? Is it a year, 2 years? Did something happen 5 years ago and you're still now, today, on that same path when you got off course? So alignment says that we have things in place, we've put structures in place that take us, not that they won't take us off course, but it brings us back as quickly as possible. You heard me talk to, you may have heard me say to patients and to say here, for people, when you are going on a whatever, a trip, you're going to a family function, decide ahead of time what you're going to do when you get there in terms of food and whatever else, right? The reason I say that is if you go to that function and you have not made a decision, for example, let's take eating. You're trying to eat better. Okay, let's do that. And you haven't decided what you're going to do when you get there. You get there, and all families, we have something go on, and you're not feeling good, or there's stress there, there are interactions there, there's pressure there, there's all this food there. You're going to make a decision. Either you're going to make a decision that I'm not going to eat anything, and you're going to be sitting off in the corner somewhere pouting, or you're going to say, well, I'm here, heck with it, you're going to eat. Either of those sets up something in the brain. Both of them are things that just, quote unquote, happened. I got there and I couldn't resist, so boom, I went in. The brain doesn't like that. Now, it would prefer for you to, before you got to the function, to say, I'm not going to eat, pick a thing, and stick with it, or I am going to eat it and do that. Because the brain doesn't have to fight. So let's talk a little bit about what happens when alignment changes things. When alignment changes things. So when alignment is functioning, when alignment returns you to your path, you feel it. There's mental clarity, the clutter fades. People say, man, I didn't realize how much I was stressed. But now that boom is gone, I feel much better. I can think clearer. My choices are better. The mental clutter fades. Your cravings begin to settle. Man, when I'm stressed, and people say to me, hey, well, I'm a stress eater. I'll put my hand up, right? Stress eater. What does that mean? That means that the stress is pushing a button that's creating a hormonal situation that's driving the food that you're eating. It's not that you like chocolate. You may like it, but it's not like you love it the way you think you love it. Or you love that cake or that candy or whatever that food of choice is. It's not like you love that food so much. It's that something is getting pushed in you, a button, that leads to an emotional response, that leads to a hormonal activation, that now leads to the craving for that food. Your fasting windows, when alignment takes over, your fasting windows feel natural instead of forced. Energy stabilizes. Your cells are literally responding to your story. Coherence between your values, your behaviors, and your biology. Peace replaces pressure. That's not luck. That's design intelligence in action. So that's what happens when alignment comes into place. It makes a difference. And so here's your takeaway. Are you ready? Well, before that, let me say this. I want you to think about a challenge. I want you to run one full inner design loop, the IDL, intentionally. Find something. I want you to come up with an anchor. What's the reason? What's the alignment? And what's the process you have for adaptation? Find something in your life, something that you want to do. It could be health related, which is what we're talking about, but it could be anything else. I just want you to practice the loop. Anchor, align, adapt. Maybe it's around sleep. Maybe it's around your nutrition. Maybe it's around savings. Maybe it's around that relationship. But give yourself one loop and watch how fast peace replaces pressure in that area. Because when everything works, when everything works together, you move from effort to flow. When everything comes together, effort goes down and you're just floating. You're flowing now. So our blueprint, the blueprint is designed to help you to maintain the benefits that you've already achieved. It's designed to help you put in practice the things that you need to be successful. When we talk about when metabolism, right, metabolic alignment, when everything works together. And the beauty about this, and you've heard me talk about the domains of health, the beauty of this is what you learn in this space is transcendent and it affects every other space. So align yourself. Align yourself by using the inner design loop. Anchor to your identity. Align your behavior and then evaluate to make sure you're doing what you need to do to be successful. We continue our path as we work through being successful in our health. And we do that with our blueprints. All right, so I am so excited, y'all. I'm so excited. You know why I'm excited? I'm excited because the Blueprint series is taking a different tone than what most of us are used to. We're used to pushing the boulder up the hill. We're used to people cracking us over the knuckle and say, oh, you got off track, right? How to get back on track. We're used to beating ourselves up for not doing and keeping consistent. But the Blueprint series says, you've been consistent. I know you have a desire. I know you want to. Why aren't you? And how do we give you the tools to be able to be successful? You're already motivated. That happened already. You already put some things in place. You've actually already had some successes. How do we keep that going? That's what Blueprints is all about. It's about how do we build? How do we build? You know what? The house you live in, the apartment you live in, the car you drive, it's not there still functioning because every day the engine is trying to decide whether it's going to stay together. Or one of the beams in your house is trying to talk to one of the joists in the house and it's trying to talk to the foundation about whether we're going to stay here. It's already built to be there. And that's what Blueprints is all about. How do we build for ourselves the things that we need to continue getting the benefits that we want? Now, if you are coming into this space with us, you're joining us, and you say, you know what, you guys have been doing, play your own game. You guys have done finishing strong. You guys have walked through the Limitless Living Health Action Plan. You already understand the COPE model and the HEAT model and all those stuff. You know what Blueprints also is? Blueprints is also the space where you get to come and you get to rest as you work on those things. You don't have to go build a car. You just get a car. You don't have to go build a house. You get a house. You rent an apartment. And while you're in the apartment, while you're in the house, while you're in the car, you're working on some of those other things. So for those of you who have been walking with us, Blueprints helps to sustain where you are. For those of you who are joining us, Blueprints is a space that gives you the structure and the safety to begin working on the things that you've got to do to be successful in your health. And that's why I'm excited. And as you hear me say, I teach the Triple E Formula for Success. It is our platform. It is how I talk. We educate, we empower, and we encourage. We educate with the shows, with the blogs, with the podcasts. It's with the intention of changing your mindset, intention of giving you an understanding of how your body works. Because when you understand how it works, you get to make different decisions. When you understand something, you get to make choices and understand that you have the ability to make decisions that changes the course of your health forever. And not just yours, but the course of the health of your family and your friends and your community. We educate. We empower by providing tools. All those things you heard me saying, the COPE model, the HEAT model, Limitless Living Health Action Plan, the blueprints that we're working on right now. All of these are tools that allow you to put in practice the things that we learn. The health action plan, the reason that word action is in there is because all of the things that we learn are not powerful enough for you unless you infuse it with you. Come on. Limitless living, and you hear me say, let me put that up right now. Limitless living says, limitless living powered by the new you. It's not just limitless living, it is powered by you. That means you infuse your behavior, you infuse your personality, you infuse your life into it, and it comes to fruition. You have unlimited ability to create and to adjust so that you can be successful. So when you come, share your story, share your wins, share your challenges, whatever's going on, we want to know. And don't just keep it to yourself, share it with everybody else. So we educate, we empower, we encourage with this amazing community that we're part of. You've seen people here in the chats who are having amazing benefit, tremendous benefit. If you want to go somewhere, you can go by yourself. But if you want to be successful over the long haul and you want to continue being successful, join a community. And this here is an amazing community to be a part of. Come join us. Be here in this space. We're here Mondays, 7 p.m. Central, right here on the show, right here on the channel, Dwain Woode MD Live. Join us after the show. Become a part of that community so that after the show, we're going to meet up with some of our community members. If you want to be there, come join us. But don't go by yourself. This is a community environment, a communal process. We would love to have you with us. But hey, y'all, I'm so excited once again to be here with you. We will continue our trek through this week as we are talking about alignment. You will see that theme come up over and over. Tomorrow, we will start our fast for this week. So we'll do our pop-up live right around 1:30 or thereabouts. So pay attention to that. Keep an eye out. On Wednesday, we'll have our pop-up at 24 hours, and then our check-in at 33 hours at 9 p.m. Central. And then on Thursday, once again, pop-up in the afternoon, and then 56-hour fasting at 9 p.m. And then, of course, on Friday, we'll have our complete review of fasting, how to prepare for the fast, how to get through the fast successfully, and what goes on in your body, and how to break the fast. You get to see what I eat for the last meal as I start my fast tomorrow, and you get to see what I eat for the first meal as I end the fast on Friday. So make sure that you are here. Make sure you join us as we go through that. And then we've got Video from the Vault Saturday night, 9 p.m. Central. This Week in Review on Sunday morning, 6 a.m. Central. And then on next Monday, we'll be right back here for Dwain Woode MD Live as we continue our trek through the domains, through the blueprints. Okay? All right. So thank you for coming through, everybody. Oh, let me go back here. I see some of our community members, and I asked you to drop in where you're from. So let's go ahead and let's see. Let's see. Where were we? So we've got Nebraska in the house. What's up, Jennifer? We got Georgia. Teresa is in Georgia. And then we've got Kenty in, Kenty is in New Zealand. So we already knew that. Let's see. Pamela in Huntsville, Alabama. That's my place. Yo. Huntsville. Steve, North Alabama. What's going on, Steve? Hi, Dr. LLG. Jiun says, dang, Seoul, Korea. What's going on? It's 9:35 in Seoul. Thank you for hanging out with us. Kenty says, good morning. Thanks from Jion. Thank you, Kenty. Hey, Jion. And so just excited for everybody who's coming through and hanging out with us. Thank you for being here. Hey, y'all, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. Now go live a limitless life. We'll see you in the community. We'll see you in the space. Right? Make sure you watch this week's videos. If you are sending somebody to the channel, make sure you tell them to start here. There's a playlist there. And then join us for our Move campaign. Let's go ahead and watch that promo, and then we'll be out of here. Welcome to Move, metabolic optimization via exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is Move. Let's get started. Good night, everybody.